Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I'm doing some AT&T internet air testing. For those of you who have been following my T-Mobile home internet testing, you will see right off the bat, for those of you who watch those videos, this is way more capacitive. There's a lot more capacity to go around on internet air. So here on the first test, I'm hitting almost 300 megabits. Uplink is fine. The only thing that's an issue here that I'm trying to get to the bottom of is the latency. The latency, quite frankly, is horrendous. I'll be very honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And you will see that throughout this video. There's going to be some buffer loading, some loading screens where it should be smooth. So jitter also sometimes does spike on this connection. And you can see off there to the left, AT&T Internet. So you know this is AT&T. So as you can see on this one, I'm hitting 400. I mean, I can hit this during peak hours, rush hour, 5 p.m., whenever. Later in the evening, it can go 600-700. So this right here on internet air is the equivalent to a cable connection, if you will, as it comes to capacity, is what I would say. And in fact, the uplink is better than, at least in my area, than anything that cable can offer today in regards to spectrum. You know, if spectrum does ever go to DOCSIS 4.0 or whatever it is, then, you know, that could be a different story for that time. But for now, the AT&T uplink is just much better. I get similar uplink on T-Mobile at times, but the downlink, AT&T wins all day long. It helps as well with downloading, installing video games, and doing new updates for games. And you will see that in this video. I briefly switch over while doing, this is interesting as well. So while I'm doing the testing and the speed testing and the video testing, I'm also downloading games in the background. That's something that T-Mobile's home internet struggles with. Not from a speed perspective, but it instantly, as you can see here, I quickly switched over. So I'm also downloading a game. It doesn't take nearly as long as it does with T-Mobile. I'll be very honest here. So the capacity is very rich in my area. So here we switch over to Max, do some demonstrations on the latency. See that quick buffer, the little circle, that's the latency part. The connection works fine. As you can see, it once it's caught up and it can play the video, it plays it no problem. 4K, HDR, whatever you throw at it, it can handle it. It's just that little bit of loading as it takes time for the connection to kick in. That's the latency part. And I'll do a comparison on that with T-Mobile's home internet that has like 60-70% lower latency than AT&T Internet Air. And we'll see if there is a difference. You know, we'll see if there's a difference. So I hope I don't get copyrighted there. There is no volume on this. I'm only displaying this for testing purpose. I want to put that in this video. So I scanned through this looking for some of the higher end content that has, you know, that's 4K, Dolby Vision, all that. And you can see there is that little buffer. It's not a deal breaker in my opinion. If you're stuck on another provider that you have issues with, cable, old DSL, and you want something new, maybe you're looking for a price cut, this is not a deal breaker. That little load buffer, it's not a deal breaker, but it's noticeable. So I wanted to point that out in this video. You won't have that on fiber, I doubt it. And any other connection that has a really low latency, you should not have that same load buffer. I could be wrong because I haven't tested fiber in a long time, but I've never seen that on T-Mobile's home internet. That's why I'm bringing that up in this video. But as you can see, right, I know this is only a couple of seconds of a clip, but once the video kicks in, it doesn't buffer. It continues to play. And that's why I'm going back and forth and testing so you guys can see, like, it's not too big of a deal. It does buffer at the few seconds, but once it kicks in, it plays fine, no problem at all. So there's the presidential debate. I let that one play a little longer because that one was all over the internet, even YouTube, so I don't think there'll be a copyright. But you can see the video plays no problem. Right? There's no buffer. It plays. So here we go back to the speed testing. So the capacity is there, 100%. Now, the service, of course, from AT&T, it's going to go to more bigger scale because this capacity needs to be monetized. I've been in agreement with some of the sources on this, on the back end. They're also in agreement. If you can pull these speeds, and on the mobile side, the crazy part is on mobile, on the wireless side, I can hit 700-800 at 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and then 7, 8, 9, 10, it goes to a gig and even higher. I've hit 1.2 gigs. So that capacity needs to be monetized quickly. And the fact that they're offering DSL still at 1 megabit, 10 megabits, they need to get people off of that. They need to put them on internet air. And quite frankly, they need to do it with all of them. If there needs to be a speed cap, let's say 200 megabits, 150, whatever, it's still better than what they're offering on the DSL product today by far. By far. It's just this internet air could be relief to a lot of people. Right? Verizon and T-Mobile are starting to get saturated against their guidance. T-Mobile's guiding 7 to 8 million. They're getting saturated towards that. They're getting closer to that goal. We don't know what they're going to do beyond that. Verizon, 4 to 5 million. With Verizon, it's more likely to say that they can go to 7 to 8 million because they have similar spectrum range as T-Mobile. If T-Mobile's guiding 7 to 8 million, Verizon can get there too. So Verizon still has some leg room there to grow from 4 to 5, 7 to 8. And then if T-Mobile says they're going to go to 9 to 10 million here early fall, right? In the early fall when they give their guidance for the next 5 years, if they're going to go 9 to 10 million or maybe 10 to 11, who knows, Verizon can likely get there too. Very, very likely. Because the spectrum is very similar. Now, Verizon should be able to do more than T-Mobile because they have a larger scaled millimeter wave that can handle more of that traffic. But eventually AT&T will have to be the alternate, if you will. If the neighborhood slots are all filled up by Verizon and T-Mobile already, and you have hopes of being able to get on another FWA product, the only other hope you have is that AT&T approves internet air for your neighborhood, specifically for your address, right? It could be offered in the neighborhood, but you have to make sure that it's available at your address specifically. So there's not much left here on this voiceover, but you can see the speeds are very consistent. There's a lot of capacity. Right here, I go back to max. I just want to really point out that load buffer. I want you guys to know that it's there. The latency, you see it in the video, 79, 69, jitter sometimes above 10. So I wanted to point that out. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, and I'll do a comparison. I will do this on a T-Mobile video so you guys can see the difference if there is any. It's seconds. It doesn't take too long. So for me, as a recommendation, this should not be a deal breaker for you if you're thinking about maybe getting the product if it's available in your area. This should not be a deal breaker. Now for gaming, that's a whole nother video. I mean, I'm gonna have to do some testing on that. That's definitely an entire different video to see how the latency impacts online gaming. If it's that high, I'm gonna say if you're a more intense gamer, you're probably gonna have some buffer, some stutter, but other than that, the connection should be fine for the most average consumer. So to wrap up this video quickly, I'll be doing some more testing. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Like, share, subscribe if you're new to this channel. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I'll leave you with the rest of the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.